Let's look at the 2022 JAMB Chemistry examination question 11 to 20. Question 11 here says, calculate the number of moles of HCl hydrochloric acid present in 20 centimeter cube of a 0.75 molar solution of the acid. A 0.015 moles, B 0.038 moles, C 3.800 moles, D 1.5 moles. Now, how do you solve this question? Looking at this question here, you can see that you're given 0.75 m, right? M means molar, and that's for molarity. So question number 11, you're given the molarity as equal to 0.75 molar. Again, you are given volume here, present in 20 centimeter cube. You are given volume, so volume V as equal to 20 cm cube. All right. So you're asked to find the number of moles, right? Calculate the number of moles. All right. So how do you solve this question? The first thing is that I want to record that molarity, all right? Molarity is simply the ratio of the number of moles all over volume, right? All right, all over volume. So you have this. Now, you want to also notice that molarity is measured in mole per dm cube. Number of moles is in mole or mol. All over the volume is measured in decimeter cube, not centimeter cube. In essence, from this, all I have to do is that if I want to get the number of moles, of course, this could be all over 1. So if I multiply this by 1, I have that number of moles times 1 gives you number of moles is equal to the product of molarity and volume. It becomes molarity times volume. So we have this. All right, so this is now equal to, again, I want to note that we said volume should be in dm cube, not cm cube. So if I have volume in cm cube here, my task would be convert it to dm cube. And to convert from cm cube to dm cube, you will divide by 1000. So that becomes 20 divided by 1000. And if you do this division there, 20 over 1000, you have your answer as 0.02 dm cube. So you've now converted from cm cube to dm cube. And if you want to know why we're dividing by 1000, let me show you how that is done. Record that we have 10 centimeters making 1 decimeter. If I cube both sides, it becomes 10 cm, this one here, cube. This would be equal to 1 dm, this also cube. This cube affects 10. 10 cube becomes 1000. Then in this one here, cm is also cube. 1000 cm cube would give you 1 cube. 1 cube is 1 times 1 times 1, which is 1. Then dm takes the cube, so 1 dm cube. So basically, this is the relationship between cm cube and dm cube. In the question there, we're given 20 centimeter cube. So we come under the centimeter cube, we write 20 centimeter cube is equal to, let's call the value x in dm cube. Here's how to do simple conversions. If I cross multiply, x times 1000 gives you 1000x is equal to 20 times 1 gives you 20. To get x, I'll divide this by 1000, divide this by 1000. So this cancels this. So x is equal to 20 divided by 1000, 0.02. So you can now see how we got our answer as 0.02 dm cube. So that's how you do your conversion. All right, so number of moles is equal to the molarity, 0.75 molar. All right, so that becomes 0.75 molar. Molar, again, as we said, this m is called molar, and molar is the same as mole per dm cube. It's the same thing. Times the times the volume, 0.02, and that's equal to, so you multiply this, 0.75 times 0.02, 0.75 times 0.02, you have your answer as 0.015. You ask to find number of moles, so it becomes this moles. So let's see which option has 0.015 moles. Let's see. That's option A there. Option A, 0.015 moles. That's the correct answer. All right. Number 12. Number 12 says the salt formed from a weak acid and a strong base hydrolyzes in water to form a saturated solution, B, an acidic solution, C, a buffer solution, D, an alkaline solution. The answer to this question is D, right? It hydrolyzes the water to form an alkaline solution. All right, so take notes. That's the answer to this question. Next up, question number 13 says an isomer of C5H12 is, right? Now I want to talk about C5. C5H12 is simply pentane. A, 2-methylbutane, B, butane, C, 2-methylbutane, D, 2-methylpropane. Now you have C5 there. When you have C5, it means you have 5 carbon atoms there. The easiest way to get this is to add up the number of carbons. Now, what do I mean? When we say 2-ethyl, in this case, eth is 2 carbons, right? 2 carbons forms eth. When you have but is 4 carbon. So 2 plus 4 gives you 6 carbon. Remember that we have 5 carbon here. So that means this cannot be the answer. All right, I'm giving you a short way of doing this. When you have, this is just butane. But is 4. When you have 4 carbon, it's called a but, which cannot be. If you come to C, we have methyl. Methyl is when you have 1 carbon atom. Butane is when you have 4 carbon atoms. So it becomes C4. Right? So 1 plus 4 gives you 5, which is exactly the same thing as 5 we have here. This 5 we have here. This one here. Let's see the next one there. 2-methyl. Met is 1 carbon. Propane. Prop is 3 carbon. 3 plus 1 gives you 4. So the only one that matches 5 here is C. So I'll take 2-methyl butane. All right. This is like a quick way of doing this. Now, in a case where you now have two compounds having 5 and 5, you may now want to draw the structure. But in this case, I don't really have to draw structure, knowing fully well that this is the only one that has 5 carbon. So this has to be the answer. All right. If you're okay, you can still draw the structure and then see that it will be the same. All right. Okay. Number 14. A mixture of sugar and sulfur can best be separated by dissolution in water, followed by A, evaporation and filtration and evaporation, B, decantation and filtration, C, centrifugation and evaporation, D, decantation and evaporation. So what's the answer to this question? For this question here, to answer this question, you want to know that you have sugar and sulfur being dissolved in water. And you also want to know that sugar would completely dissolve in water, all right, giving you a sugar solution, leaving sulfur. So what to do is very simple. With that solution, with that mixture having sugar, sulfur, and water, you pass it through a filter paper. When you pour the mixture into a filter paper, you now observe that sulfur would still be left on the filter paper. Meanwhile, the sugar and water forming your sugar solution will pass through the filter paper. So you'll be having sulfur on the filter paper, and then you'll be having sugar solution after the filtration process. Now, the next thing to do is that you pick up your sugar solution and you heat it. That's evaporation. Now, when you heat this, you observe that the water molecules will evaporate, leaving you with just sugar. So the process there would be filtration and then evaporation. The answer is A. Question 15. According to Charles' law, the volume of a gas becomes zero at, right? What's the volume of a gas at zero at what particular temperature? Now, here's what we know. We know that from number 15, we know that 0 degrees Celsius is equal to 273 K. Now, when they said the temperature becomes zero, the volume of a gas becomes zero at, all we have to do is let's make K to be zero. And to make K to be zero, we have to subtract 273 here and also subtract 273 here. All right. Now, if you do this, 0 minus 273 gives you, that's this, 0 minus 273 gives you minus 273, of course, degrees Celsius, is equal to 273 minus 273. That becomes 0 Kelvin. So the answer there would be minus 273 degrees Celsius. So that's the answer there. Minus 273 degrees Celsius. Number 16, mild oxidation of propan-1-ol will yield A. Propanol, B. Propanal, C. Propanoic acid, D. Propane. Now here's a question under organic chemistry, all right? The oxidation of an alcohol, right? Propan-1-ol is an alcohol. Now you want to know that this propan-1-ol is actually a primary alcohol, right? It's a primary alcohol. And when it comes to primary alcohol, note that the oxidation of primary alcohol will yield alkanals, right? So primary alcohol, mild oxidation, so it becomes plus this mild oxidation will produce an alkanal, all right? So you have an alkanal. An alkanal is also called an aldehyde. It's the same thing. So you can check out our playlist on organic chemistry to learn more. Now, the alkanal version of this would be then take this one here, anal. So it becomes propanal. So in essence, the correct option there is B, propanal. So take note that the mild oxidation, emphasis on mild, right? The mild oxidation of propan-1-ol will yield propanal. That's the correct answer, right? Number 17, a solid that absorbs water from the atmosphere and forms an aqueous solution is A. Hydrophilic, B. Efflorescent, C. Deliquescent, D. Hygroscopic. Right. So what's the answer to this question? Now note that the process by which a substance absorbs moisture from the atmosphere until it dissolves in the absorbed water and forms a solution is called deliquescent. All right. So the correct option here is C, deliquescent. That's your answer. All right. Question number 18. The process that occurs when two equivalent forms of a compound are in equilibrium is A. Isotopy, B. Resonance, C. Isomerism, D. Reforming. So what's the answer to this question? Now, note that when it comes to resonance involves two forms of a compound, right? Involves two forms of a compound. When it comes to isomerism, that's the C one here, isomerism involves two or more forms of an element. When it comes to reforming, note that reforming involves the arrangement of molecules, all right? But for resonance, this deals with two forms of a molecule where the chemical connectivity is the same, but the electrons are distributed differently around the structure. So the answer there is B, resonance. That's the answer. Question 19 says an organic compound commonly used as a disinfectant is dash A. Toluene, B. Glycerol, C. Styrene, D. Phenol. Now note that toluene, let's have the first one there, toluene. Toluene is used basically as a disinfectant, okay? Glycerol is usually used as a sweetener, right? For styrene, you want to note that styrene is used in plastic products packaging. For phenol is used for sore throat, all right? So for this, the answer is toluene, all right? So the answer to this question here is A, toluene, all right? Toluene is the organic compound that is commonly used as a disinfectant. So that's it. Question number 20 here says, temporary hard water is formed when rainwater containing dissolved carbon dioxide flows over deposit of, you have your options here, all right? A, calcium trioxocarbonate 4, B, sodium trioxocarbonate 4, C, sodium tetraoxosulfate 6, D, calcium tetraoxosulfate 6. What is the answer to this question? Now for 20, you want to note that permanent hardness in water, all right, permanent hardness is caused by the presence of magnesium and calcium sulfate, all right, calcium sulfate. Meanwhile, temporal hardness temporal hardness of water is caused by the presence of magnesium and calcium carbonate, right? So from this, we can see that temporal hardness of water or temporary hardness of water is caused by magnesium and calcium hydrogen carbonate, and it is formed when rainwater containing dissolved calcium trioxide flows over it. So for this question there, the correct answer is A, right? So you have your answer as A. That's calcium and the carbonate or thiazocarbonate 4. So that's A. Question 21 is your own assignment. Solve this, leave your answer in the comment section. 21 says, butter is an example of emulsion in which A, solid is dispersed in a liquid medium, B, gas is dispersed in a solid medium, C, liquid is dispersed in a solid medium, D, liquid is dispersed in a gas medium. So which of this is the answer? Leave your answer, leave your option A, B, C, or D in the comment section, and I will give you a reply. I'll tell you if you're correct or not. All right. Okay, guys. So please take note that we have a JAMB WhatsApp group for 2026 JAMB Bites. All right. So if you're writing JAMB for 2026, we have a JAMB WhatsApp group where we do daily revisions on physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology. So if you're a science student and you want to join our JAMB WhatsApp group, I'll leave a link to the JAMB WhatsApp group in the video description. All right. You can also join our JAMB channel membership to get access to exclusive content for JAMB Bites, or you can get the full JAMB course on our website. Simply visit www.journalimmanu.com/courses and you see the JAMB/WAEC classes. All right. Okay, guys. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. All right. Like this video. Also leave a comment. Right, for the comments, I gave you a task, question number 11. Solve it, leave your answer in the comment section, and I'll tell you if you're correct or not. Don't forget to also subscribe. If it's your first time here or you're yet to subscribe, please do what to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and select all so that you get notified whenever we upload a new content. Then finally, ensure to share this video to your friends and their colleagues so that they can also learn. Thank you and see you in our next class.